Hopefully it doesn't cut you out again.
No, yeah.
10-hour round trip.
Yeah, something like that, mate. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
That's mental, mate.
It's got to be done, isn't it, when you love your kid?
Yeah, exactly, mate. I would do exactly the same thing. Luckily for me, my two are only, well, the youngest one was 6 yesterday.
Yeah.
The eldest is 8, so she'll be 9 in June sort of time. But yeah, they're a handful as it is, let alone 10-hour round trips. Like,
Right. I've actually got Joanne in the car with me because she's come from moral support, but she's just hiding in the corner.
Oh, that's all right. Welcome to the Ground Zero podcast.
So you got the founder and the co-founder of the Head Shed base here. You know what I mean?
I was just about to ask you about the Head Shed organisation. Because from what I saw, I had a little look through on the old Instagram today. It looks fucking shit up. Pardon my French.
Yeah, it's about the right location, mate. First and foremost, before we even think about getting people there, you know. And that's why it's, you know, some people might say it's taken too long, but they don't know the journey. You know, we're not these people that put as I made the mistake of jumping at the first thing we ever saw and thinking it was awesome and doing all that, and it basically didn't come to fruition because it was at the people that were good at heart, but it was in the wrong location, mate. And then as we got further down the road in the planning process, you know, all these little things started coming about oh, could you share it with other people and all the rest of it. That just wasn't going to happen. So when that happens, you have to completely reset, spend the time finding another location and going through the same process again. But hopefully now with this place that we are coming to hopefully an agreement on with the landowners who are ex-military anyway, so they're very simple to it. You know, it can move ahead this year and we'll have people out there doing the good stuff.
Happy days, mate. Happy days. I noticed the old Sin Eaters hat and t-shirt on as well.
Mate, I'm swayed in it. I think people think, because me and Gaz are good mates, I think people think he gives me everything, but no, it's all purchased.
No, he's like, no, you're buying this.
Yeah. I'm not one of them lizards that gets lots of stuff for free. No way.
I was talking to Smudge from the Red Coat Apparel the other day on the phone, and we were discussing how everybody wants something for free these days. Like, it's like, let me wear your hat and I'll give you a shout out. It's like, why don't you just buy the hat and give him a shout out anyway? You know.
See, one of the bad things about the community that's going now, the veterans community, is, you know, I've had people give me t-shirts and stuff, and it's, you know, and generally it's been great, and they've not asked me to, like, oh, make sure when you're on TV or doing something you put our t-shirt on. That's not the case, and I think
that's a good way to do it. That's nice, like.
But that's right, yeah. And then, you know, but there are people out there, I think, that obviously want to promote themselves and give and drop the subtle hints later that, oh, did you wear this or did you do that? And
got you.
You know, it's that, but you know, I understand why they do it, and then that's why I literally follow or wear two or three people's brands about it, because it's like anything else. You got to like the product before you wear it. And
yeah.
I mean, it's one of them. And, yeah.
So got to have a bit of connection with them as well, I think.
You guys haven't known each other for years, but we've only known each other for a couple of years, 2-3 years. You know, been to each other down the road in the brigade and all the rest of it. But apart from that, no, we just, because we used to live a couple of miles from each other. And we used to meet up for coffees and events and chuck ideas at each other, basically. That's what it was.
Yeah, because I've been in a bit of a sticky situation myself recently, so I'm trying to organise a charity football match at the minute. For it's going to be my podcast versus Spurs Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to ask people to like sponsor the team so we can cut down some of the costs. I hate asking for money. It's like, do you mind giving us money? Like, it's like, I hate doing it, but it's one of those things that's got to be done.
It'll be done, mate.
We're doing it for to Recovery and Mind were doing it for.
Well, Mind and Rock to Recovery, two very good charities. A good civilian and military one. I get that.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like everything else, mate. Somebody's always asking for something for free. Sorry, not free. And I think we go about it, mate. I mean, Rock to Recovery must have loads of contacts, mate. So
yeah, they have. Yeah, to be fair, when I spoke to them on the phone, they were like, "Oh, if you need any assistance with anything, even down to us getting the kit, they were like, "Oh, we can help you get the kit and things like that." And I was like, "No, I'll get all that sorted. Don't worry about that." But yeah, I'll speak to them and see if I can get a few contacts in to help us get some numbers up and what have you. But it's all good. It's all good. Me missus was just saying, "You're doing a podcast tonight." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Who are you doing?" I'm with Jay. She was like, "Who's Jay?" I went, "He's the interrogator off SAS Who Dares Wins." You're like, "Oh, what? How did you get him on?" And I asked him.
You're looking at. I mean, there's a few people that you do have to do a lot of things, and to be fair, I don't do a lot of stuff really, and I try and definitely from last year I try to cut back. But if I can and I'm out, then I will. Even like if it's like tonight, I'm not doing anything other than driving. So there's no problem with it. It's it's just the same old, mate. I haven't really done much background on yourself or anything like that, but no, it's all good.
If I'm honest, I could say I could be really Jack and say exactly the same thing. Obviously, I know you from the show. I've said it because I had Phil Turner on the other week and a couple of the other contestants, Civil War and
all right,
and Chris, the one that injured his eye. I've had both of those on and Phil, the director.
Phil Turner's a good guy.
Yeah, he's sound like. And I've said to those out from the very beginning, I've been a fan of that show. And it wasn't until you basically said, yeah, I'll come on, that I had a little look back and saw that you pretty much did every job in the fucking army and 25 years. So I was like, fucking hell, done a bit, this guy, done a bit.
I know, mate. I only look 25. It's unreal.
I know, young chap, mate. Giving you looks, that was it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Dad.
Yeah.
I did look. You did a good 20 years more than I did. But for my sins, I was in the Air Force Regiment. I know.
Hey, you know what? Back in the day, everyone had the banner. When I left the military, and I really didn't give a shit about who did what, where, why, or how. As long as they were just truthful and they stuck to the guns and, didn't ham it up. And, you're hard pushed to find somebody who doesn't big up the cells nowadays. But, yeah, it's just, I long and varied career, mate, but a lot of it bad, a lot of it good. It's just what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is, isn't it? That's a good saying. It is what it is.
You get to a certain point in your career where you just think, like, I'm going to have to stay now because I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing on the outside. So, that's all I did. But like I say, it got to the end, chinned off the commission. I think a lot of that was down to the not getting the LSMDC and all the rest of it, but still made it to the top of the pile in that sort of respect. So I was happy. I said I joined as a boy soldier, so I always said I'd join as a soldier. I always wanted to leave as a soldier. I wasn't really. I've seen so many of my mates get commissions in different various jobs and roles, and do you know what? I could probably count on half a hand minus a thumb how many happy doing it, sort of thing. So
that
for me was the big thing. I was quite happy to leave it when I did. Yeah, it was all good like that in that way.
That's a good way to end it, really. My old man was quite similar. He did 22, and they were offering him warrant officer, and then to see if he was going to take his commission, but he was like, nah. He got to the point where he found that all of his mates were all starting to become brown noses and all that sort of stuff. He was like, I'm not one of them. I'm going to stick to my guns, and then he left himself. That was back in fucking 91. That was, bless him, old man.
I mean, I had a good mate, and he's still into this day. He's a major. He's done all the courses now. He's he was one of us. He's a good lad, you know. And I say he was one of us. I was saying like he's a knob now, but he's not. When we were all saying we were going to get out at the end of our time, he used to go, "Yeah, I'm getting out as well." And every one of us used to turn around to him and go, "Mate, you're in forever. You're going to make a good officer. You're going to do right by the boys. Just stay in. Stop. You know, you don't. Yeah. It's not part of the trendy gang to do what you're doing. Yeah. You know, just stay in and feed your family, sort of thing."
Yeah, yeah.
It's simple for me. I just didn't want to
think myself with one of my buddies. He's actually still in now. He's a JTAC at the minute, and back in 2011, I think it was, we were in Kandahar, and he was like, "Mate, I've had enough. I'm getting out." I was like, "What are you on about? You ain't getting out." I went, "It's the worst thing you'll ever do, getting out." And he was like, No, I've had enough." I went, "Have you though?" I went, "This is all you've known since you were 16, mate. You ain't getting out." He was like, "Tommo, mate, stop trying to talk me out of it." I went, "I'm not. I'm just going to tell you now, you ain't getting out." And the day after, he pulled his papers back out, so he wasn't PVRing. He's still in now, like 13 years, I think he's been in now.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people just need a little bit of reinsurance, or sometimes you just want what other people say. But you know, it's quite simple, mate. When I was a gaffer, I used to have young lads walk in, and they'd say, "Shit, I'm getting out." I'd be like, "You made your decision?" Yeah. Nothing can talk me out of it. I'd be like, "Yeah, no one. Here's your papers. I'll take you down to the SSA's office. Let's get them signed."
Yeah.
They're always a bit. And the boss used to say, "No, Harrison, you're meant to try and talk these kids out of it." I said, "But why? Why would you talk somebody out of it if you can tell that they're definitely not going to be there? Let's help them transition and help them instead of having an unhappy soldier who could be quite toxic in the ranks."
It could be, exactly.
To the rest of the boys, you know, people, you know, if you want to live by the way you talk or whatever you do, then have the courage and convictions in it. Don't. I think a lot of guys used to come in the office. I understand that, to get a little bit of reassurance.
Yeah. It's like they're going to have you to say, "Nah, you don't want to do that." "No, I don't want to do that." Sometimes they want to be told what to do, sort of thing. I remember when I put mine in, because if I'm honest with you, Jay, I didn't want to leave. I left as a mutual sort of decision with me and my wife, because I was getting ready to go on my 4th tour. She didn't want me to go. She had 2 little kids at the time. I was like, I don't think I could do it. So for family reasons, I left. Like the Air Force was me, basically, and that's one of the reasons why I started suffering with my mental health problems, because I lost my sense of myself. And I remember sitting there with my warrant officer, and he was like, "Tommo, are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I've made my decision. It's family reasons. I've got a job lined up when I leave. I've got resettlement ready." And then he was like, "No problem, mate. I'm not going to talk you out of it." And off I popped, as it were. And, so that was my transition.
Yeah, I mean, the loss of purpose is quite common, and you know what? It's actually it's as big as the individual believes it is. I know it sounds weird. I have some weird theories on, you know, some of the mental health stuff in the military. So the way I left was, made a decision, 2 years out, did the resettlement, and left. I always knew I was going to leave, wanted to leave, put the talks out of it. Yeah, I had the chat with the CO. "Come on, RSM, you need to be enough for all this shit." No, you know, and he knew within 15 minutes of us having this chat, because we were a good CO-RSM bond.
Yeah.
He knew, and he didn't harp on about it. And the fact of the matter was, right, well, make sure you focus on where you're going to go. And I think a lot of it comes down to the lads not being sure, 100%. B, you know, there's that doubt whether they should or they shouldn't. There's a doubt whether they've got the right job they're going into. I think there's a fact that something like 95% of the guys who get out and have a job and get into that job never stay in that job more than a year.
Yeah. I didn't.
Just they jump to, sort of thing. And which is obviously a good thing, because you've got wages coming in when you get out, and you can start looking for the other things. But I think that there's always going to, it's like leaving the police force, fire brigade, the NHS, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, even if it's not a uniform service, you've been doing something for quite a long time, there is always that doubt. I had a really good friend, civilian friend, who got out. He'd been working for say, an alarm company, big national one, for 15, 20 years. And some guy, he was just a civilian friend that I met when I got out, and then some guy offered him this awesome job because he was a good salesman. He was a very good salesman. He said, "You can do that with me." It was this guy who builds weight training systems and all the rest of it. And by no way was it my mate, like a guy into weight training or anything like that. But he was a great salesman. So he went to work for me. He told me all these benefits, and he said all this. And I went, "Yeah, it sounds too good to believe, isn't it?" And he was like, yeah. Anyway, long story short, he was back with the alarm firm within a year because the grass isn't always greener. You can fall foul of these people who promise you the world in any walk of life, in any job, in any trip. The good thing is he got back. He left on good terms with his old firm. What I'm saying, probably don't kick yourself in the foot when shit like that comes on and start chinning people on, screaming and shouting at people for no apparent reason. And don't see yourself off, for want of a better term, when you leave.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to make a rock your own back here.
Scotties, in my eyes, are very good at fucking seeing themselves off, mate. They're very good at, shooting themselves in the foot, as it were.
Oh, yeah.
And not being as professional as everyone says they are.
Yeah.
And it's a bit,
definitely have their moments, like.
Yeah. And it's part of, we talk about the head shed, which is, what I like to is the head shed is going to be for not your average everyday Joe. It's not going to be just for veterans. It's going to, it's a community project. It's for lots and lots of different people. The point we always say is mental health trauma is mental health trauma. It doesn't matter where you get it.
It doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah, or you've been in a car crash, or you've witnessed something that may be trauma is trauma. So we're going to be after certain people, not in a selection kind of sense, but there is going to be a sifting of applications who come to us because we need them at the right stage in their life. We need them at the right stage of their process and their therapy as they come through. They're going to be these people that we want to be able to help. So we've got this unique selling point of the fact that people will come to us that we've looked at when they've given us their script and their write-up of what they want to come to the headshed for and what they think they're about. And we're going to put these people out, put them in a little group. It's going to be real small groups of like-minded people who are coming to the headshed, who can get the most benefit out of it by working with those people that they meet on that weekend as well. And it's going to be, quite a unique, bespoke way of doing things. Every course is going to be different. Every course is going to have different activities in it. Far away from military stuff. Again, it is for the community. And I think part of the job is getting the selection of getting people to get there. And we're not letting so much out on social media again this time because we've still not really got a product. We've just gone through all the health and safety processes. With a good mate of mine, ex-veteran, who's come and dug out blind. I've had a couple of mates who wanted to do that, but he was really local and he came down the other weekend, and we were actually quite surprised by the amount of dramas there isn't for us at the moment. And once we've got that, we can go back to the landowners with our plan and, the schematic of what we want to do there, because they've got the brief now. We've had a couple of meetings now, but we can go back to them with it, lay it on the table and say, this is what we want to do. All we need to do now is deconflict with the land. The location's fantastic in Perthshire, just above Perth, or northwest of Perth, in between Perth and Dunkeld. Just, on the edge of the Cairngorms. It's a beautiful location, mate. It's got everything that we need there. And it's actually, we fell on it. Out of luck, really. I went there to do a job at this big old house. And the name, when the lady gave me her name, I turned out to Joanna and went, that's a military name. I know that name from somewhere back in the cavalry days and all the rest of it. And sure as hell it was. And we got talking. He took me down to show me the old farm and his land. A couple of surprises in there. I was blown away. He really liked the idea. Obviously, then I had to speak to the son who runs the farm and the land now. He's ex-military as well. Had a great meeting. Very positive. And Joe was very much the sensibility factor in all this. Joanne, she's like, calm down, fucking screw the nut sort of thing. Let's see how this goes. You know, Duane's face as we came out of that meeting later on that night, and the positivity of it all. You know, we were both pretty buzzing, and it finally felt like we'd achieved something and got laid down and figured out to use. So there'll be more and more information coming out on the head shed as we go along. You know, obviously then we're going to have to load a couple of trials and then and then start running the first courses through summer. And the potential is phenomenal. But what we are doing is we're keeping it very close to our chest.
Yeah.
Being very guarded.
Yeah.
You know, it's not been done before. I don't think there's something like this out in America. I will admit that when I heard about that place, I did a bit of research and I thought, well, why can't we do that over here?
Yeah.
Still with our own little twist, you know, it's not just for veterans. We've changed that up. And the potential to bring other abilities in, like PTSD dogs, matching dogs from rehoming, saving little stray dogs and all that. So there's so much we can do on the land there.
Brilliant.
That's non-kinetic, non-trendy, you know, lots of different things that people wouldn't normally try that I think worked. And it all comes back to when I came out of therapy, and this is where we want to catch people. Post-therapy, not massive issues anymore, but when you come out of therapy, you feel quite lost. And you feel like you're in a completely different place and you're not the human being that went in. And now you have to find out what you really are. So I want people at that point in their lives who are a little bit lost, looking for that next direction, missing their Wednesday afternoon appointments that they've had for a year and a half, like I did. And then we're going to, you know, hopefully start them on a journey, find them new things that they might take massive interest in and go forward with. And it's not one of these things we have to keep coming back to, and you're not going to keep coming back to us. You can come back as often as you want, sort of thing, but you know, you're still going to have to pay to come on the weekends. And that's another point. One of the points about it is the reason why there's going to be a nominal fee and it is a business is because don't want to be a charity. Been involved with charities before, they're an absolute nightmare, and there's enough of them about anyway.
Yeah.
But we want people to invest in their future, and basically social enterprise. We won't be making a profit. Joanne's still going to be a nurse. I'm still going to be running my own security business. You know, we're going to do this on the hoop where all the money made goes back into the company to build it and make it grow. You know, there will also be a donation process where people have already been asking, oh, when can we give to the charity? No, it's not charity, but you can donate. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a separate account that we're getting locked into where people can donate this fee for people to come for the weekend. And then we can match that with somebody who, say, can't afford it, who really needs to come, who's been nominated to come. We can give that to the person. Then at the end of it, they can write to the person anonymously or, you know, saying who they are. And we can match that up on the accounts. Everything's, I forget the words, transparent, you know, so everyone can see. It's all still to be done, mate, but it's just it's a great way of doing things. So we're actually possibly can't afford to come. When I say can't afford to come, I mean, this isn't a massive amount. You've also got to think about travel and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know, it builds up over the weekend if you're going to do that. So it's really exciting, dude. And it's something that I've always
fucking brilliant project, mate.
And it's something that I hope we've found the place for now and we can really, really push through this year. Last year was a bit of a downer. Even got to the point where I basically threw my teddy in the corner and went, oh, fuck this shit. It's never going to happen. But we all get
those moments, like
I have this lady next to me who goes, give your head a shake. Stop being a fanny.
You need those moments.
I
had a couple of those last year when I first started the podcast, and I was like, what is the point of me doing this? And my brother was like, Tommo, mate, what? Just take a breather and carry on with what you're doing, because what you're doing is helping yourself, and other people are listening now and what have you. It's on the up, and now I'm getting guests on and things like that. It's like it's gone from me almost going, nah, I've had enough, to now I'm like, can't wait for each week. It's been really good.
Well, there's lots of different stuff out there, man. There's lots of different podcasts.
Yeah.
You need to find
a few months ago. We had a company called Inner Armour on. I don't know if you've heard of them. You might be able to find them on LinkedIn and things like that. They're almost the opposite of what you're doing, in the way that yours is coming from the end of therapy, where it's like giving you the tools to deal with things before you even get The hold on, it's telling me to take my pill. Give me 2 secs.
That's different.
Yeah. Oh, am I back on? Come back on. Oh, why are you doing that now? There's always technical difficulties with the Granite Zero podcast. Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, so Inner Armour, they go about trying to give you the tools and things to deal with situations and scenarios before they happen. So they go and speak to all the blue light services, military personnel, and try and give you the tools before you get into the situation where you start developing PTSD and things like that. So that's what they do. So they've been over in America and things like that. So they started in Sweden, I believe, using little tools like Lego and things like that. Building. It was a fascinating chat with them.
It's basically an LP and doing bits and pieces like that, and doing emotional hooks, take like the old elastic band on the wrist, all that sort of stuff. There's lots of different things, mate, and there's lots of different ways of coping with stuff. The problem with the mental health thing is just because it works with one person, and that's why there's so many different views on things. Just because it works with one person doesn't necessarily mean it'll work on the other. And the thing I found was everyone says, "Oh, I have PTSD because I was in the army, I was blown up," or whatever it was. But you getting blown up is completely different to the next guy getting blown up. Even if you're blown up at the same time, human beings are completely different. And if you're injured in the same situation, you will both act to it completely different. So the fact of the matter is, that's why I think it is so complex and so hard.
It is.
You know, there's so much to be talked about when it comes to it. I have very different views to a lot of people I've found, and that's just the way it is.
That's it. That is what it is, though, isn't it?
You know, people have lots of different views about lots of things, and that's what being human's about. You're allowed to, but you know, I saw something the other night on social media about it was a different thing, and basically, you know, some guy I think they cured themselves in 6 weeks or something like that, and I'm like, what? You know, it's fucking that's amazing as far as I'm concerned, but that to me was a bit bizarre. I don't know how that could happen, but hey, each to their own, and that's the way it is for me. I think it's kind of bonkers in that respect. I don't know. It is, like you say, it is what it is, mate. You know, some people.
Yeah, it's a bit like when
there's a lot of stuff out there now that I think is going too far. You know, there's a couple of stigmas. There's the one, obviously, where, you know, people are still killing themselves. I'm afraid that's always going to happen at the moment. But there's also the one where people now are doing it for the pity party, or people are doing it for the reasons, you know, just because they've been in the military, they must have PTSD and all the rest of it. Exactly. You know, it is what it is, and they drain resources that aren't going to the right people.
Yeah, 100%.
That does happen. It does happen in all walks of life, no matter what it is. And you're never going to stop that. These people are out there. I think what we need to do is just be able to recognise that and move on. But then also not persecute them about it. Just let them get on with their lives. You know, they are who they are.
Yeah.
You know, humans, mate, inevitably, as being Gaz always say, can be turds. It's that simple.
Yeah. Because I actually had a few lads say to me that they didn't believe that I had it. Well, my depression and anxiety and things like that. But they didn't take the time to actually speak to me. They just came straight out and were like, "No, you're lying. You're going off on," because one of our close mates took his own life, and they were saying that I was playing on the fact that he took his own life and things like that. And I was like, "This is just disgusting, and you're actually making me worse by saying all this." And then,
yeah, but you can tell how this is what it goes back to. You can't tell how human beings react. You know, so you know, it's very I don't know the right word for it, but it's very personal, unique to that individual. Is that right? It's very unique to that individual.
Yeah.
What other people comment and say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I just said about, you know, this other thing that I just saw. It really doesn't matter. It's like the post I put on the other day. People comparing a celebrity's death to a veteran's death. And half of these people putting this shit on social media about, well, 20 veterans died this month and nobody gives a shit, but because a celebrity died, it's all like, mate, that's fucking bizarre. They're missing the whole point here. You're missing the point. No matter what your title was in life and your role was in life, that was a human being who saw fit to step off the planet.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing here, not what they did for a fucking living.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I think the veterans community as well needs to have a long, hard look at itself. I remember these 6 core values that we were taught in the military that everyone's supposed to live by, and just adapt that to the life that you live in now and have a little bit of empathy as well while you do it.
Totally agree with you there, Jay. 100%, mate.
Whatever you want, and you can do whatever you want. Do it in the sanctity of your own house. You don't have to do it on social media.
Yeah, it's like you've got that quick ability to just type whatever you want and just send it and just not really give a shit or think about what you're saying. It's
Man, I type so much on my social media, and then just as instead of pressing send, I press delete.
Yeah,
because
I've done that countless times. Where I'll see someone put a comment on, and I'm like, "Fuck you," and then I'll write in an essay, and I'm like, "Why am I bothering with that? Get rid of that. Let's not bother with that."
That's generally to do with the TV show.
Yeah,
I do.
So you must have saw some cracks in people when you were doing the old interrogations on all the old civvies that are doing the SAS show. Do you see a lot of them start breaking quite easily, or was it?
Well, so it's really different on the TV show. So it's loosely based on what we were doing in real life. You can't obviously do that, and we can't divulge that. So it's really hard because it seems to be one of the most favourite parts of the program, but quite clearly we just don't see enough of it. On average, I think in Chile they were in 40. There's lots of stories coming out. We were in there for 24 hours. Yeah. They were in there for like 14 hours in Chile and 60. It was not longer in Razé, and I think it was much harder in Razé this year. The conditions were horrendous. Cold, it really was quite brutal. I think they really ramped it up this year on the R2I phase. And we can say R2I phase, but it's not really R2I phase, it's just the word that we use because it's not interrogation. The fact of the matter is, mate, is that, these are civilians with no training whatsoever. Yeah, a couple of them might have gone and tried a hostile environment course or something like that, but they don't know how to act in reality, and it is quite tough for them. That coupled with the epic 9 days they've had before it or whatever it is, it's quite a brutal beast, It's obviously not the 5 mile of death, mate.
Hey, that's hard work, that. Oh, yes.
Everyone will be happy with that, mate. No.
Yeah, everyone will have some of that, Tommo.
But it is, for civilians, for what they do, mate, it's really good. Now, all I find is that when they come out of there, they were in clip while they're in there, and what they don't realise is that, we see everything and we do everything. And yes, it would be really easy for us to go in there and break the cover story as quick as we did. But you can't. What people forget is it's about teaching people, actually. It's not about the interrogation. It's about teaching them how to resist. So actually what we're doing is we're teaching them how to do it. The scene with Kimmy this year with me and the sandwich and all that was absolutely phenomenal. But you saw literally 2 minutes of it. That was a 40 to 50 minute approach, what we call an approach. And the stuff that came out of that was gold, and we used it later on in the interrogation. But it's a TV program. We can only show so much.
Yeah.
That's how the production team want to. And obviously they're the professionals. They know what they're doing, mate. So it's not down to us. We just go there, do our shifts. It's all done in one take. There's no let's do that again or anything like that. It's realistic in that side, and it does get very real for them very quickly. And to be fair, this year there was lots of stuff you guys didn't see. So, but there's also, I do like watching all the stories come out from the recruits themselves afterwards, telling us how they did this and did that. I'm like, you were like gone to the wind, mate. You didn't have a clue what you're doing, sort of thing. That's their experience, mate, and they're entitled to that. That's their experience, and that's what they've done, and nobody else can deny it because they haven't been there and do it. I see comments on there from former this and former that, and I see a lot of experts on there who are just social media experts. But yeah, it's generally quite funny. It's let's just say it's very interesting to be involved in that side, having obviously done it in a past career.
Yeah.
So it's different, mate. But the recruits seem to be getting a lot different. I believe it. When I first went on Morocco in Series 3, I think it was a really, really decent social experiment. Yeah. A lot of people saying now, there's a lot of comments on there saying that it's turning more of a reality show. But these people, you don't actually see what goes on. It is pretty, for a civilian, or these CrossFitters or whatever they are, to be taken out of their little world, dumped into that world for 12 days or 14 days or whatever it is. It's fucking brutal, mate. And you can't show every second of every minute of every day. You can't. And I understand that's why it's quite frustrating for the recruits. Some, if recruits ever get in touch with me, I always say to them, just, before it airs, just be careful. You don't know how you're going to be portrayed.
Yeah, exactly.
Just enjoy the experience and take it with you, And
there was one of the recruits this season, wasn't there? That I think it was number 11, Kirsty. I think her name was. She seemed to not like the way she was portrayed on there, should we say? But it is what it is. That's not
that goes on there. I think they're going for a different reason.
Yeah,
and this is just it, mate. TV, you don't know how you're gonna. It's easy for us. I know I'm going to be portrayed as a bad man, so remember that one.
Well, as soon as I said the interrogator is coming on my little podcast, my missus was like, "Oh yeah, he's brutal." I was like, I reckon he's a big softie, really.
What I used to do. You see, it was part of a job I used to do. I'm just a normal person now, but the fact of the matter is, I think it's quite hard for them to grasp how they don't know how they're going to be portrayed. So I think that must be quite nervous for them, because I've no doubt that all these people are nice people and they're good people. It's a TV show at the end of the day, replicating. If you're not infantry, it's more or less a 9-month course, isn't it? As we know from what you go through. So it's a long old process compacted into 14 days. So all the naysayers and all the haters can say whatever they want, but only the people who are there know what goes on, and it's not a con. It is, stuff where we all stand around going, "Fucking hell, fair dues," Brutal, You're looking at a junior cadre on Brecon or seniors, then fuck, it's brutal. So it's different, isn't it? And people can say it's not the same, it's not this, it's not that. Well, mate, what do you know?
Exactly.
People
get a lot of
it's entertainment.
And some squaddies that are like, "Well, that wouldn't happen. That doesn't happen." It's like, I'm sorry, did you do selection, or have you tried any of that?
It's not even that. I'm missing the point. It's a TV show.
Yeah, and you forget that they're not trying to be soldiers.
No.
They're on to do a TV show.
I think it was good how they brought a bit of weapons into it this year. I think it was really good.
I said that to Phil. I was chuffed that they brought some weapons in there.
Yeah, definitely. It's mate. You know what?
I think it has got better each season. To be fair.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where every year we finish, and I don't know what they're going to do next time. Every year it's so surprising.
I also said to Phil though that it seems as though they are watching previous series to see how to do stuff, but obviously you were there face to face with them doing the interrogations. But like you said, was it Kim? She seemed to do fucking brilliant.
No, she wouldn't. Yeah, mate. I can't. This is just it. You only see what you see. There's a point where Kimmy, we did catch her out with a few things. But listen, it's interrogation. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
We are always going to make you look stupid. We're always going to catch you out. You're going to think you've won something when you haven't won something, because somebody could be filming you. Somebody could be seeing you shake my hand or do something stupid. There's lots of things that nobody's actually got through.
You're getting caught out on something.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea of it. You're tired, you're wet, you're cold, yeah? You're gagging for something to eat and drink, yeah? If anyone who's been through the process, they can probably see it better how we're doing things with them. It's not about beasting them, swearing at them, calling them knowledge, whatever it may be, degrading them, it's all part of the parcel. Only those people who go through the bag, as we call it, like we do in the real world, they only know what happens when they're in there. And all I say to people is, if you can live with every decision you make while you're in there and sleep at night, then that's all good. But, nobody can judge anybody. Nobody can say anybody did good, anybody did bad. Everyone has the faults. Everyone has the good parts. That's how it works. It's how you can mentally process that and go through that to carry on. Yeah. It's about living with the decisions you make. So in that respect, mate, they all do great. They all do well enough. It's just like I say, it's good listening to some of their versions and some of their stories.
Yeah, awesome, mate. But so Phil was saying they've just finished off doing the celebrity one. Are you doing that one as well? Are you on that one?
Yeah, celebrity one's done, mate. It's all done and dusted. Yeah. I think that's probably due.
June, is it? Do you reckon?
I think it's due soon. I don't know when it is, mate.
To be honest, due soon. I think it's June.
No, there's a couple of, we turn up, do them, and that's us, mate. There's no
get out there.
There's no celebrities, and there's nothing else for us to do. We're contracted to do those days, and that's it, mate. It is what it is. I go back to being a normal person. I have 5 minutes of fame once a year or something.
But to be fair, I think you do a brilliant job on there, mate. And I think the head shed is going to be fucking spot on as well. I think that's going to be brilliant.
Yeah,
sounds good. Mate. Sounds really good. And I think the amount of different options people can have to help deal with mental health problems or issues or whatever you want to call them, it is the more help that's out there, the better it is for people, especially those that, like me, when I first started with mine, suck it all in and can't deal with it and don't know what to do. And seeing that there's things like the head shed coming out and other avenues to go down, I think it's just brilliant. The more the better, definitely.
Our motto at the head shed is recovery comes from within. You've got to want to help yourself at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through dark days and come out the other side. When you come out the other side, you've got to want to help yourself still. A lot of people out there want it just given to them on a plate, and that's not what it's about. You really, really do have to fight for your life, and for want of a better phrase, you have to fight for your life. You have to want to be right. You have to want to do right. You have to make some. I've made some fucking tough decisions in the last 5 years. Some really tough decisions that have, splitting up with my wife and all the rest of it, and there's been some, real tough times, and there's probably more to come. Life is hard. Every day is hard, but you have to want to improve, and you have to want to change that cycle and get out of it for you to become a happy human being, or a little bit happier than you are. You can acknowledge that that's what you need to do. Then that's what a head shed is going to be for. It's going to be there at a certain point for some people to help them change and do stuff, mate. And hopefully, me and Joe will make it somewhere that people want to use and can't get enough of. It's definitely got a purpose and a role to be played. It's just, we're finding out different things every day, as everyone should. There's no positivity message in this. It's just a simple fact that there's going to be a facility there. I always dreamt, I wished I had. That hopefully we can create, and other people come and create and add to it as they're there, and we can make it a place where people want to come with.
I just think it's just a really fucking spot on idea, mate. I think it's.
I appreciate it.
I can't wait for it to all be up and running properly, mate, and start smashing out the social media stuff so people understand that there are things out there that can help. And like you said, recovery starts with yourself each day as it comes. That's what I tried to tell myself around about this sort of time last year, where I was sat and I was like, I can't keep being so negative each day, where I'm just down and having arguments with the missus, shouting at the kids for no reason. I was like, and I sat down, had a chat with my brother, had a chat with a few close mates, and I was like, I've got to change something. I've got to do something, and that's why Granite Zero started.
It's a hard thing, mate. When you're in a place where you can see no good in anything, it's a really, really, really difficult place to be. And that the hardest thing I found with living with so much self-hate that was getting out of that. To break out of that took me 1.5 years. It really did, of pure hatred for myself. I just never looked at myself in a mirror for about 1 year. You probably tell that by some of the pictures of my hair and all the rest of it, but just fucking hated not hated life, just hated myself. Yeah. And it was really, really fucking shit times. Obviously if you can't like yourself, you can't like anybody else, can you? So
No,
You know,
exactly.
it is what it is, mate. You know, and like I say, everyone's different, but hopefully the head shed, people will find common ground and a common bond, and you know what we're talking about, and we're doing it. So we've got to make it work now. You know, we've been close to the ruin, and you know what? Even if this area didn't come on, I don't think I'll give up on it, because I do know, and I've had the assurance of people, you know, everyone that we speak to, there is a product there, and there is something to be done. So we're going to do it either way we can.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Oh, I won't keep you much longer, mate. I know you've got a long
4
walk.
hours. 4 hours. Another 4
4
hours.
hours. Another
And
4 hours. Shit,
and
mate.
the, and the motorway's closed again. But hey, you know what I mean? He said like,
hey, it is what it is.
and
Well, I just
party.
want to thank you for coming on, mate. It's been a really nice chat. Learned lots of stuff, and hopefully we can get you on again, and the second guest as well, double.
Podcast. She's going to be beating me up in a minute, mate, for that. Then if you don't hear from me in the next day, send the reinforcements, because I've been buried on the side of a bloody motorway. Ow! Starting already, mate.
Violence. No need for that.
Right.
Well, anyway, cheers, Jay, for coming on. Thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Take it easy.
And you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.